Hello, Pisces. It's Rebecca, Empathic Crow. I hope that you are doing well. I appreciate you joining me and watching this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I do not always remember to say that myself. I actually made myself a note, so I'm proud of myself. As far as the likes and follows, I'm not very good at doing things to try to increase those, like following the trends and things, but there are messages that need to get to people. And so for me, the big push is that if messages can get to more people by me remembering to say things, I'm going to try to do that. And let's see, anything else? So yeah, if you're drawn to the reading, you feel like that it's resonated with you, definitely please let me know. I do love reading the comments and seeing the interactions on a personal level of how something resonates, or maybe it creates a memory or something for you, whatever it is. I love things like that. The focus for this reading is going to be August 2025 because that is the time right now. But if you see this reading outside of August 2025 and it has things that you feel are connected or are a message for you, then it is. Also, if you feel like it's not a message for you, then it's not. With general readings, not everything is going to be for you, but sometimes at least part of the message can hit pretty well. The other piece is we're coming up on that Lionsgate portal, and one of the things that I am focusing on with the monthly Reiki that I did for my subscribers to my website, I went ahead and posted that publicly also on this YouTube channel. And also for the monthly metaphysical meetup, which is going to be on the 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m., is not looking at Lionsgate as a way to just manifest the things that you want, but in order to manifest it, really going into that sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra and being able to build up your confidence, focus on your passions, your creativity, really embodying that Leo confidence and strength, and knowing that you can manifest 222 on the clock, anything that you desire. I've shuffled these about 5 times, so I think they're good. All right, so I think that's it. We're going to start the reading. I'm doing pretty good. We're at 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Let's see what is coming in for you, Pisces. I'm going to real quick just take a grounding breath, call in my big four, and we will start. God, angels, ancestors, and guides, what does Pisces need to know for August 2025? So we're starting out with the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane. Haven't used my Crow Tarot in a while. I guess we're going to start with these 4 cards because they did not want to go back in the deck. Yes, so the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane is the first deck we're starting out with. So your very first card out the gate, Pisces, is the 3 of Swords. So this is some heavy energy. These are some things where there's been some heartbreak or things that you need to heal from. And so we'll look at the cards to see what this is about. The second card you have is the Lovers. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this is a romantic relationship, but it's definitely a close relationship. And there's been heartache, there's been difficulty. When we look at this 3 of Swords and the Lovers card, both of them have this anatomically correct heart on them. And then we have the crows in the background of each of these photos. We also have with the 3 of Swords, the number 3. Not sure why my camera just dimmed just now, but if that means anything to you, take it how it resonates. And you've got the crow alone here in the 3 of Swords, and you've got the crows together in the Lovers card. Now, one of the things that could mean, of course, is a third-party situation. It could mean that whether it's that third party doesn't even necessarily have to be a person. It can be a situation. It can be work. It can be anything that gets in the way of a relationship that you have. With this card, I'm noticing more this side over here with the moon. So some anxieties, whether this is what is going on or not. We have this image here in the back. There's like these eyeballs looking through the darkness. So whether it's you're feeling watched or you're watching someone, or someone's interfering. Like there's something where there's someone in the background and the moon is right in front of that. So things unseen, things hidden. These may be anxieties that you have. These may be things that are actually going on, but it's created this disruption, this imbalance between this relationship that you have. There is a beehive also up there in the corner with the moon. And with that, while that's not a bad thing, what I'm seeing is being swarmed. Like if you've ever, and I don't wish this on anyone, and it hasn't, knock on wood, happened to me since I was a kid. But when you step on a yellow jacket's nest, all of a sudden the yellow jackets swarm you, and hopefully you don't get stung very many times. But yellow jackets, they are out to attack, especially if you have come into their territory. So this feels like kind of like this Three of Swords, being stabbed in the heart multiple times. It just feels like hurt after hurt after hurt after hurt after hurt, like not really even having time to think about it or even to recover. We've got the Hanged Man. So right now you may be feeling like you're not sure what to do. This red down here at the bottom, when I think of red, I think of the root chakra and grounding and stability, foundations. And I feel like with this Hanged Man, your perspective right now is feeling as if your stability, your foundation, what you felt was that security for you doesn't exist anymore. And so we've got to turn this around so that the perspective changes, because you do have choices. We've got the Two of Wands here. So with the Two of Wands, you've got the world up here at the top of the wands. We have these flowers down here at the bottom. So there is a new beginning. There are options. There are things that you can do. Notice too, the light and the dark contrast in these cards right here. So in the Lover's card, you have the sun and the moon, a very bright background and a dull background. And then in this card, the Two of Wands, you've got this gray background and then a more earthy background. So with that, it's deciding what you feel like is going to be the best decision for you. Not everything is as it appears, is what I'm hearing. And so it's really trying to discern what it is that's going on. What do you really want? Making a decision. That Two of Wands is saying you've got the options. You've got to make a decision, because otherwise you're just in that position of the Hanged Man where you're not sure how to move, what to do. Like even as I'm talking, the flow is just not there. It feels like it's like this stop and start, like this pause, 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 like not feeling fully connected is the sense that I'm getting. Just, I'm hearing like you just can't catch a breath. That just kind of gently came out. Ten of Cups. This is what you thought that this was going to be. That whether it was, like I said, a friendship, a family relationship, intimate relationship, I'm really feeling intimate relationship here, if that fits for you, but it feels like in your mind or on paper, ticking the boxes, like everything looked like it would lead to this Ten of Cups, lead to the situation that you wanted, the life that you wanted. If you wanted family, the family that you wanted. We've got the red flowers in here again. That stability that I was talking about in the Hanged Man is lacking. That security, that stability. You've got the rainbow. You've got all the cups, like your wish come true, wish fulfilled, the new beginning, which there's still a new beginning. Like I said, even on this Hanged Man card, even on the Two of Wands, there are these blossoms, these spring blooms. There is a new beginning that's coming in, but the situation you've had didn't meet this expectation. And I feel like there's some trepidation that's coming in as far as moving forward. That's what's keeping you stuck in that Hanged Man position. You know that there are choices that can be made. It's just making those choices is not always easy. So in order to get this turned around, before I even can say the question, what does Pisces need to do? Well, first off, you've got the Two of Swords. So it is being able to recognize that you are the key here. Okay. So it's taking off the blinders. You can stay stuck in this hangman position and feel like you don't know what to do. It's overwhelming, or there aren't any options that you feel like are good options or options that you would want. But if you stay in this Two of Swords energy where you're keeping the blindfold on, you're feeling like you're blocked, you're not going to get this 10 of Cups. Maybe it didn't work out in the relationship that you wanted it to. Obviously, with the Three of Swords, something hasn't worked out, whether that's something from the past and you're afraid of stepping into a new relationship, or even if this is recent. But you have to be able to remove that blindfold, put down your swords, let down your guard, understand that there's not a threat. And also knowing that if there is, you will recognize it. And from this unfortunate situation, from this heartache, you learned what you did and didn't want, what you would and wouldn't take and accept. This is where we start to learn those healthy versus unhealthy boundaries, where we learn the red flags, the green flags. What are the things that we want from a relationship? And so you have the Empress coming out. And with this, it's understanding that, again, you can manifest this 10 of Cups. But in order to do that, you're going to have to, I'm seeing a cat licking its wounds. So the phrase lick your wounds is coming to me. Like, be able to work on that healing, trusting your intuition again, allowing yourself to regain some confidence, to focus on that joy. Like I said, this energy of the Leo season and the 8/8 portal, being able to fully embrace and embody your confidence, your self-worth, your creativity, your passion, allowing yourself to even explore the thought of what intimacy looks like for you. What is it that you want? What is it that lights you up? What are the things that you want? Because the more that you get into alignment with what you want, these cups that you want, the easier it is to manifest that. Because if you're thinking about all the things that you don't want, sometimes without meaning to, we're pulling those things in, the things that we don't want. Or we start to get those doubts and negative self-talk telling ourselves, I can't get anything better. Everything I try doesn't work out. Or anytime that I've dated, it's just gone wrong. There's nothing but, in this Lover's card, there's the snake in the middle. There's nothing but snakes out there. If you stay in that perspective, that is what you are going to find, or you're not going to date at all, maybe. And so then you don't find anything. You got to turn that perspective around. It's not saying everything is wonderful and great. It's just having your eyes open, having your guard up some, but not blocking everybody out, and not just totally letting it down and getting back into that state where you feel like nothing's working out the way that you want it to. Usually it's a little bit of both. You wouldn't have gotten in a relationship with someone if there weren't qualities about them or things about them that you thought were at least somewhat positive or you enjoyed. So just remember, even the person that is part of this heartbreak, it's not that they're a bad person. They're just not the right person for you. And that's hard to deal with. That's hard to handle sometimes. And maybe we've invested a lot of time and energy into those people, but it doesn't mean that it's the end. It doesn't mean that they had to be the one, even if it felt like it. It just means they weren't the one, but it doesn't mean you can't find the one. You got the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is that, happy family card, that wish fulfilled. All right. So let's go to the inner child healing, or inner child oracle. I say healing oracle because inner child healing is one of the things that most of us could benefit from. And I really like how supportive these messages are to that, recognizing ways that we can build our self-confidence, that we can release those anxieties and be able to move forward. So the Inner Child Oracle is by Amanda Lynn Ailton. Can you tell that I've said that quite a few times? So let's pull at least one card from this deck and see. God, angels, guides, and ancestors. What is it that Pisces needs to focus on? What do they need to know in order to change this perspective, to turn this around and get that 10 of Cups? What do you need, Pisces? I feel like as I'm sitting here thinking, oh gosh, we haven't had anything come out yet. I'm seeing the Hanged Man in my head, like that resistance. You know, you've got options, but there's a resistance to that change, because what if I get hurt again? And Pisces, you may get hurt again. Even if you have the greatest love ever, the price of love is grief, or the price of grief is love. I can't remember now which way that is. I think it's the price of love is grief. Either way, if we close ourselves off and we don't allow ourselves to get involved with other people, it's going to be very lonely, and you're still going to grieve that loss of not having that. And if you do love someone completely, at some point, whether it's illness, they pass, distance, whatever it is, time, there will be a loss, a grief. And so because we love, we may grieve and it may hurt, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. There we go. All right. So maybe that was the wrong question. Should we go to another deck first? I'm going to try this one more time. What is the question? What does Pisces need to heal? What does Pisces need to heal in order to move forward? Pisces, I feel like your energy is being a bit stubborn. Yes. So 21 is the number, which is a 3. Let go of the past. It's time to envision a new story. 100%. You need to envision a new story. We will see if another card is going to come out, but I don't know. How many times do we shuffle? I didn't keep count. Notice that with this card, there are lotus flowers. So lotus flowers grow up through the mud. Like, it's a struggle, or it would feel like a struggle to me, to move up through the mud in order to blossom into this beautiful flower. So you've dealt with some situations that have been pretty muddy, but it's okay. You still can blossom and bloom and embody that Empress energy, that nurturing energy, that just fertile, like manifestation energy. All right, one more shuffle, and nothing else is coming out of that inner child. I mean, that's pretty clear. Let go of the past. It's time to envision a new story. And your last card or cards will come from this Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle, and this is by Abiola Abrams. And so we'll see what the ancestor message is for you. So Pisces, you can definitely turn this around. And I, as a Scorpio, understand you, Cancer, myself, our emotions do run deep. And sometimes we are really good at being able to face our emotions, identify our emotions, and sometimes we try to just shut them off. You can't just shut them off. That would be great sometimes, not overall, but sometimes it may feel like that would be a good thing. But your emotions are part of what, again, leads into that ability to love deeply. And what a beautiful thing that is, even though it may hurt. All right. So from the Secrets of the Ancestors, what does Pisces need to hear? What is the message for Pisces? Like I said, these cards, I don't know if it's your energy or the cards today, but being very stubborn as far as anything coming out, or even the question. What does Pisces need to do? What does Pisces need to do? We'll try this again. I have not, that I recall, not with this many decks back to back, had cards just not coming out. This is a little crazy here, Pisces. All right, let's try a different deck. What deck am I being called to? The Cosmic Record. All right. So this is a deck that I got off of Amazon called the Cosmic Record. It doesn't necessarily have a creator name or anything like that, but it does have some very specific messages. So Pisces, we're going to see if we can get some more specific messages for you from this deck. First thing I'm noticing as I'm shuffling it are the butterflies, the orange and the blue butterflies. So already sacral chakra, the orange, is something that we're focusing on, kind of that self-worth, being able to step into that creativity, that passion, intimacy, really being able to just be ourselves. And then blue being that throat chakra color, you being able to communicate clearly and speak your truth and say what it is that you want, say what you mean, advocate for yourself. This is a very thick deck. All right. So let's try this again. I'm going to take a breath in and just reground myself. See if we can pass some of that stubborn energy on, start unblocking that sacral and solar plexus chakra, and work on balancing that heart chakra. So God and angels, ancestors, and guides, what does Pisces need to know? And we got a card much more quickly this time. So stay present. Your thoughts are disconnecting you from reality, avoiding external challenges. An unresolved issue has you trapped in mental loops. Now is the time to face it head on, return to the present, reconnect with the essence of life, and restore balance and clarity. So this is what we're talking about here. You're blocking yourself off. Even this Hanged Man card, you're blocking yourself off. So you're wanting to restore balance, which, you know, even when we talked about the Lovers and we've got the Two of Wands, there's that balance between the light and the dark. And so you're wanting to restore that balance and bring in that loving energy. Even in this card, we have some lotus flowers that are showing up in the image of that card. And I feel like even though it's hard to tell in this card, that there's an aspect of kind of that nurturing mother-child energy. And I feel like for you, that could be nurturing that inner child, even though we didn't get a card out of it. I'll try one more time before I end this reading, because it may be that we were supposed to look at this deck first. Is there anything else from the Cosmic Record deck that Pisces needs to know? All right, we had a card flip over. Cross it over. You often lose motivation halfway and begin doubting yourself. Break this inner cycle like finishing a marathon. Take the final steps, cross the imposed finish line, and feel the victory from within. So you may have started some of this work, but then it feels like, why even bother? Because I'm not going to find anything anyway. And you've got to let that go, because having those types of thoughts, it's just keeping you stuck. Have faith is the card on the bottom. An eagle doesn't doubt wind as, try that again. An eagle doesn't doubt the wind's power as it soars high, and neither should you. The universe reminds you that while your vision may be blurred, faith will guide you toward a brighter future. So part of it is staying present, crossing over, like going over that threshold, that hump, that thing that keeps you from fully taking the blinders off, or fully opening yourself to the possibility that you could find a relationship that doesn't end in this heartbreak in the way that it has before. And then having faith that it'll happen for you. With the eagle too, understanding that that's kind of focusing on that discernment. So like I said, being able to acknowledge your intuition and look at things with clarity, but not to the detriment of yourself, where you just close yourself off. So the card that came out is 1, a time to remember. Look back on your childhood. So again, I kept saying, I feel like there's some childhood aspect here that has impacted your view of relationships, whether it's attachments, you know, anxious, secure, avoidant, mixed, whatever it is. If it's an attachment style, if it is observations of how relationships of others around you went, if it's the way that your family engaged with each other, whatever it is, review that. Or even, feelings of not being enough, even if you were, like that self-doubt or the anxieties. So take a look back at some of that childhood stuff. You can do that on your own if you want. You can do that with a counselor, or somebody, spiritual guide, whatever it is that you trust. But just looking back and seeing what led me to some of the beliefs that I have about relationships that may keep me stuck in relationships that aren't healthy for me. All right, Pisces, I hope this was helpful, and I am sending you lots of love for healing and for this to be something that you make that choice to move through and know that it is possible to have something different. Oh, excuse me, got the hiccups here. I hope to see you next month, and maybe before that, if you choose to watch or join the metaphysical meetup on August 17th. That's the third Sunday, and it is at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Again, if you felt called to this message, if you feel like it resonated with you, if you like my reading style, you're just drawn to the cool stuff in my room, whatever it is, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next month, take care of yourself. All right. Bye, Pisces.